What's up, y'all? Welcome to the NBA Weekly Post Game. This is where we share our views on the latest trending topics within the NBA. My name is Sha.
And I'm Evay, and we have a lot to talk about.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay, so let's start right here. There are a lot of things happening in the NBA news media today, and the first topic we're going to talk about, I got to give my opinion on, is Dennis Schroder's contract. Oh, Dan. You know what I can't say, and looking at just really from the surface level, I'm like, why you turn down that money?
Yeah.
However, if I think about it, I think it is about the timing for me. It's the timing of the contract, right? Lakers offered him that $84 million in March.
Yeah.
At that time, he was at the height of his game with the Lakers, looking pretty good. The Lakers were in a good standing in the West. And then the postseason came around. I'm like, sometimes you got to strike while the iron is hot. And this is one of those instances. I do believe that had his production level helped the Lakers get to at least the conference finals, he may have been able to get another contract with the Lakers. But they was like, sir, no.
Yeah, this is a case of turning down 4 years and 84, requesting about 120 and getting 5.9.
Oh my gosh, but I said, okay, my first thought was, why did he even turn it down? No, from initially, why did he turn it down? Mm-hmm. So I said, well, what was his previous contract? And so his previous contract was 4 years for $70 million. So if you think about it, at the time in March, it's like, you guys are giving me how much more on what I'm already making? No, I'm at least worth 100 million to 120 million. You're going to give me at least that as I'm playing right now. So when I think about it in that perspective, where he was at the time of the offer, it kind of makes sense when he's betting on himself that no, that's not enough money, considering I'm already making 15.5 million a year. You're going to give me a couple of additional million with this 84 million over 4-year term? No, y'all, I'm worth more. Can't you see my production?
Yeah.
So he turned it down. So for me, when I put it in that perspective, I'm like, I get it. When we're talking about, we always hear the phrase, bet on yourself. You need to bet on yourself. What we fail to realize is that when people are betting on themselves, the stories we hear about are the success stories.
Right.
There's a bucket of stories out there where people bet on themselves and they got 5.9 million. So
yes.
what I'm saying is you have to look at it from a holistic perspective. And when I see it that way, I'm like, I get why he turned it down. Now, I'm not saying it's the best. Let me just say this, 5.9 million offered to me. Where do I sign?
Yes, please.
So when I'm talking about from my reality, that 5.9 million is winning. But from his reality, it's a loss in my perspective. So I get it. I get why he said no if that was his mindset. Like, no, you're going to give me what I'm worth. However, what you're worth didn't pan out in the postseason.
Didn't pan out.
When you are 0 of 9 in Game 5 against the Suns. Don't do that. You can't afford to do that if you think you're worth between 100 million and 120 million dollars.
Yeah. Now, should we place some of the blame on his agent, though? Because the agent's job is to run the market and say, okay, we're going to do a cost analysis. We're going to see like what your value is trending for right now.
And what is the max this team can offer you? Because I read somewhere that what the Lakers offered him was their max at the time.
See? They were willing to buy in.
At the time, that's all they could have offered you. So you said, I'm going to hold out. Well, if you're going to hold out, I'm not mad at him holding out. I'm not even mad at him betting on himself. If that's what he feels, I get it. But you're going to have to make sure your production is either sustainable or you've increased it. And it decreased greatly.
Yeah.
Where they said, not you, Russell Westbrook. And they found money for him. So
yes. Okay, so let's look at this though. Would you say that Dennis Schroder is a top tier point guard?
No. So then I said, okay, so who's in his corner?
Right.
Where is the reality check? Because to your point, where is my market value over long term? And what does the market think about me in the future? I think that's what was missing. Because I believe he may have saw, and again, this is just my perspective. He may have saw himself as I can be a future Chris Paul. Where?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When,
Does he believe that he is Donovan Mitchell deep down, or even Mike Conley for that matter?
for that matter. And maybe so. And why shouldn't he? And why shouldn't he? Right. But what you believe and what these teams are willing to pay for have to align. And if they don't align, you're going to end up with perhaps $21 million a year, all the way down to $5. Now, for me, if I put that in my regular layman's terms, we're talking about $5,000 to $50. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, the Boston Celtics, I think they got him for a steal. And it makes them, I think, something to reckon with in the Eastern Conference. That's going to look really good with Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroder. I think Schroder might be coming off the bench for this.
You think so?
I think he might be. Marcus Smart is their guy at point guard, isn't he?
I don't think they determined that yet. I haven't read it. And if they have, I'm okay with Marcus Smart. That's fine. I just think that Dennis Schroder, what the Celtics have in this Dennis Schroder that's coming into their roster for the next season is going to be the bomb.
Oh.
Can you imagine? I would love to be a part of NBA team players group chats right now. I know they have been chatting up a storm in the group chat.
Yes,
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So what I'm saying is the what Dennis Schroder has to now prove again will be to the benefit, can be to the benefit of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Right.
And he might go overboard with that, though. We don't need that on the Celtics.
That's why I said can be.
Yeah.
Can be. If it's channeled correctly, he could potentially, if he can help lead Boston to the conference finals, he may see his next payday. He just may see it, but it's going to have to be some effort. So what I'm saying is that unfortunately he has to do it again. He already proved it when he was with the Hawks.
Yes.
Which afforded him the $70 million contract in 4 years, right? He did prove it with the Lakers with his 1 year he was there, where he was offered the $84 million. He turned it down, but he was offered it, so the Lakers saw something in him that they wanted to build a future around, and he turned that down. So now he has to start from ground level to prove himself again to the league. So he's going to have to work for it. And I hope he doesn't go overboard because that can backfire as well.
Oh, yeah, because let's not get it twisted. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown is the nucleus of the Boston Celtics. We can't have Schroder coming in all of a sudden trying to take the limelight, because that won't go over well in Boston.
And I'm going to tell you right now, even if it appears to happen, Marcus Smart is going to shut that all the way down. What you won't do. Now, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown may be nice about it, but that Marcus Smart, nah, And I believe that Marcus Smart is going to protect his boys. Dennis Schroder, you're going to have to find a way to get in where you fit in, prove yourself again. He has to prove himself again, and make sure your production value is sustainable. That's just it. And you do that, and you play nice, because you're going to have to play nice, right? While you're trying to prove yourself again, you should be okay. And you may just see your next payday. You just may see it.
Yeah. Seeming as though he just signed a 1 year deal, right? With the Celtics.
1 year.
Yeah.
One year.
And let's hope he doesn't get injured in the process.
Oh my gosh. If he gets injured, over. Career.
Yeah.
He's going to be with the Sacramento Kings.
Oh my God, you are the Kings. Okay, look. So Isaiah Thomas is trying to fight his way back into the NBA, scored 81 points at a Pro-Am Classic in Seattle, his hometown, put on by Jamal Crawford. Should the 5'9" point guard be afforded another opportunity to get back into the NBA?
Yeah, put him on the roster. What? Yeah. Why not? I mean, if he can sign Udonis again.
And the Bucks can put the Nas's on the 2 year deal. Surely there's room for Isaiah Thomas.
Surely there's room. Surely. So yeah, why not? If they think he can sit on the bench, he ain't gonna get no play time. But I mean, come on, if they want to give him some money, I don't really. Your 81 points don't mean nothing to me when you're playing in these type. What 81 points? Well, who was he playing against? Was he the only one? Was everybody just letting him just shoot? Was he not sharing the ball? See, your 81 points, it all sounds good, but it lets me know that you were a ball hog. That's what it tells me. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way he played in the NBA too.
Don't nobody want that on their team.
Mm-hmm.
No. So I'm not great. He felt good. It was emotional for him. And I understand all that because to be fair, the league did him
super dirty.
Oh my God.
Was it the league or was it the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's so funny because every time you hear about Isaiah Thomas, it's always former Boston Celtic.
Yep.
Do you not know that man played for almost like 4 other teams?
Mm-hmm.
And they never mentioned. The Boston Celtics was not his team he played for when he came into the league. I'm just like,
yeah.
Why y'all keep talking about? And he played for multiple teams after the Boston Celtics traded him. What are we talking about? But that must have been his pivotal moment.
It was. It was. I mean, this guy was the last pick in the 2011 draft. So he had a lot to prove. He plays that way. He's undersized in a league full of giants. Had the bone bruise / hip injury that ruined his entire NBA career because the Boston Celtics medical staff, I think they were not being completely honest with him regarding the seriousness of his injury. Because I think had he known, he would not have played with that hip injury. He probably missed out on $100 million. We're sitting up here talking about Dennis Schroder. The truth of the matter is IT fumbled his bag too, trying to give his all to the Boston Celtics.
Yep. They jacked him up. And then when he finally made it to the Lakers, or was it the Clippers?
I think he played for both.
He did. When he finally made it to the Lakers, he only played a few games because he had to go back into surgery. I'm just like, So then we get mad when Kawhi is like, no, I need a second opinion. Nobody want to do what nobody wants to go through what Isaiah Thomas went through. That's horrible. When your whole career, your future career is over.
Yeah.
No,
It's true.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead and put that man on the roster. Make him the 5th on your depth chart and just be done with it. Let him just, let him be who you need for him to be in practice. Put the man on the team. Put him on the team.
Yeah, he's 32 years old now. Had the injury 4 or 5 years ago, so he's probably not going to provide much value. Let's just face it.
Yeah, but put him on a 2-way contract. I mean, just if these NBA teams can, sign these other players, and they can sign these other players that do not contribute greatly to any roster. Put him on it as well. I think the league owes him that. Matter of fact, I want the league to have him on every team until he retires. That's what they owe him. You had an opportunity when you did your 10-day contract with the Pelicans. Now, granted, that may not have been the best 10-day contract with the Pelicans and Stan Van Gundy. No. However, that production probably wasn't your best. We didn't see 81 points then because you can't ball hog, but you can ball hog in these little leagues. Isaiah Thomas, NBA, get that man a contract.
Oh my God. Okay, look. Now, Ben Simmons, my guy, Ben Simmons. I think he's unwanted in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
And now the tides have turned where he's like, you know what? Fine. I don't want y'all either. Where do you think Ben Simmons will end up next season?
I don't know, but I can tell you right now. I'm going to tell you who will stay. Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, because he's balling. Yeah, he is.
He's balling in the summer league. So I don't care about your tantrum, Ben Simmons. You better find a spot because the Sixers fans don't want you. I'm sorry. But I'm telling you right now, all this different tantrum and your comments on social media and what you're saying can I just say Tyrese Maxey? Ben Simmons, sign your next contract. If you don't want to stay with the Sixers, I'm good with that. You feel like you've been disrespected and all of that. And I can understand. I get it. I can understand that.
But, Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid kind of threw him under the bus. I don't blame him for being upset.
I don't blame him. So I don't blame him for being upset. I don't blame him for not wanting to be with the Sixers anymore. My question is, where you going to go? Because apparently what the Sixers are asking for to trade you, these other teams are not willing to give them. So that tells me your value is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
When you going to shoot the ball?
He's working on it right now. You know how you always champion Kawhi Leonard? I have to champion Ben Simmons. I think he's being treated unfairly here. Let that man evolve. Let him evolve. Give him time. He's a 7-foot point guard. You're not going to find a guy with his skill set and his defensive ability. You're not going to find that at his size playing point guard.
Right, right. The problem is he has to evolve on a team that's not in the win now mode. That's the issue. The Sixers are in a win now mode, right? Because they need to make sure that they can capitalize on Joel Embiid's prime, right? Because his knees is faulty. So they need to make sure they get him while the iron is hot, which means that Ben Simmons needs to find another team to evolve on. Is it the Timberwolves? Should he be with the Sacramento Kings? Can he go to Cleveland? This is what I'm talking about. He needs to find that type of team to evolve his game and then come out and say, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready for a title contending team now. I just don't think he's ready right now. And I agree. He should be able to evolve. So like I said before in previous videos, he should have a performance plan put together. Your first step, I want you to make sure that when you get to the free throw line, you knock down every free throw. Let's start there. Then we'll work on your jump shot. And then we'll move you outside and we'll work on your perimeter shot. There has to be some type of levels. You can't try to do everything because he's afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, right? So give him the opportunity. Unfortunately, that opportunity cannot be spent on the Sixers because they want to win now. And they cannot win now, which has been proven with Ben Simmons at the point.
Okay, especially when he's passing up open layups. Oh my gosh!
When I'm talking about you, like right up under the basket, and you want to pass the basket, pass the ball. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not saying he shouldn't develop. I'm just saying that I don't think the Sixers have the time or the capacity to develop him right now when they know they want to compete with the Miami Heat, with the Milwaukee Bucks, with the Brooklyn Nets in the East. They can't do that right now if Ben Simmons is going to be a weight that they're not willing to carry on their roster.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I hope he ends up with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
Because they don't need him to shoot. They need him to facilitate and run the point. That's all the Golden State Warriors need. But I don't know that the Sixers and the Warriors can come to an agreement in terms of assets. So we'll see.
Who would they even ask for?
That's what I'm saying. Draymond Green, 1 for 1. You know, maybe throw in, I don't know, apps.
Again, who? I'm gonna tell you where he's gonna end up. Sacramento Kings.
Oh my! You and the Sacramento Kings. Oh my God, they might be good this year with Davion Mitchell over there balling in the summer league. All right. So look, Damian Lillard, won gold in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Cool. Came back to the States. Realized that the Portland Trailblazers did not really vamp up their roster at all. And he's a little disappointed. Should Dame Lillard finally give up his loyalty to the organization?
Yes. You know, I don't even know if he can really be mad at the Portland Trailblazers organization. Players don't want to play there. They need to build. I don't know. The Portland Trailblazers need to build their roster organically, like the Milwaukee Bucks did. They need to they just need to build it organically through the draft, through maybe mid-season trades, you know, find that diamond in the rough or those diamonds in the rough that really want to. Isaiah Thomas's, I don't know, but they need to perhaps create that. I don't know if there's any current superstar that's saying, I'll go play with Dame. I can go play with Dame. I don't see that. And so until that happens, he needs to find somewhere else to go. And if he finds somewhere else to go, I believe he needs to be number 2.
Number 2 option?
Yeah.
Wow. But he's making number 1 option money, though. That's the thing.
I know. And that's not to say that if he's looking for a championship win, right? Because he's been there for almost 8 seasons now, 8 or 9 seasons. And he has not been able to successfully lead the Portland Trailblazers. Now, granted, they did have Terry Stotts.
You see.
So some culpability needs to be placed on Terry.
Yes.
I'm just sorry. So what does Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and the players that they have today on this roster with a new coach and new coaching staff, what will that look like in the 2022 season? So before we really say anything, maybe we just need to see what that looks like, because we have to understand that Damian Lillard and Terry Stotts have played together for his whole career.
Right.
So give Coach Billups an opportunity to showcase what his connection with the Portland Trailblazers roster looks like. And I understand that Dame could be upset. I mean, girl, he wants a ring too. Let's just be honest. Why are we playing this game if we're not wanting a ring?
Yeah.
Right? So I understand that, but this is actually a new era in a sense as relates to coaching. So let's see what that pans out to be. And maybe they can go a little bit further than round 2. Maybe.
Yeah, because they've been kicked out in the first round 4 of the last 5 seasons. And that's just not a good look. But I do place a lot of blame on Terry Stotts. So it's a fresh start for Portland. I just hope that guys are willing to buy into Billups' system. And that's the key right there. But I don't know. There are a lot of teams that are interested in Damian Lillard, i.e. the Philadelphia 76ers. Might be a good landing spot for him.
So Portland's going to give up Dame for it. Ben?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Portland give up Dame for Ben, and then CJ becomes the number 1 option.
You just said Dame needs to be number 2, so CJ can move up to number 1 anyway.
And that's fine. And guess what? If he were to go to the Sixers, he will be number 2 because Joel Embiid is number 1. We don't have a problem with that though. That's over. But if I say number 2, it's like, what? Number 2, Dame number 2. Yeah, if he goes to the Sixers, he ain't gonna take Joel Embiid's spot.
Right.
He's gonna be the number 2 option. And the number 2 option is not a bad number. Number 2 option is not bad because number 2 helps win championships.
I.e. Chris Middleton.
I.e. I.e. Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Around after 2019. Come on. I.e. Kyrie Irving with Cleveland. On and on, right? So don't discount number 2. I'm not saying number 2 is a scrub because actually they're not. They probably should be labeled 1A. 1B.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah. So now look, Lonzo Ball has moved over to Chicago, and he feels that he wanted to go somewhere where the organization, can see his value and allow him to play his game, and he wanted to feel welcome and wanted. I don't know if the Chicago Bulls is the right organization for him. At the time he signed, I'm not exactly sure. Had DeMar DeRozan signed?
No.
So Lonzo thought he was going to an organization where he can just kind of take his time and get ready. The Bulls might be in the win now situation. So he's back to having all the pressure on his shoulders. Can he handle it though?
Okay, first of all, what is his game? Number one. Sir. What is the game?
Okay.
Because I don't know if you had it when you were with the Lakers. Didn't quite see it with the Pelicans. Maybe your third team is the charm. So perhaps now we can see what your game is, number 1. So whatever your game is, hopefully it will come to fruition with the Bulls. Number 2, don't let your mouth write a check that your can't cash. Look, Lonzo, I am here for all the things you want. And I really, really, really hope that the Bulls are it for him. That he can finally showcase what it is. Because the fans, we're still waiting. At least this fan is. I'm still waiting on what is it.
I don't know. Lonzo, the Bulls have a fairly decent squad right now. Looks good on paper. Not sure what Coach Billy Donovan's how he's going to mix it all in. But Lonzo better show up this year, because if not, I think he might be labeled a bust. This is it.
This is his bust. This is his this is make or break year.
It is. It has to be.
Oh, come on. How much more longer? How much longer? How many more drafts will we go through where we're still waiting for him to do his part? No. Because do you consider the Bulls to have a big 3?
Nah. Who? Zach LaVine, Vucevic, and who? Who we talking about? Stop it. Stop it. If anything, Alex Caruso.
Yes.
DeMar DeRozan. Wait now. DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. I'm still not buying it.
Nah. So then where does Lonzo fit in? Because he's not number 3. Can't be. Not with DeMar DeRozan.
That's what I'm saying. This all is just It's just a formality. Lonzo
Why
is
did they need him when they had Cody White? Like, I just don't. You went from anyway. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't wait to see what they pull. DeMar DeRozan is not a bad pickup with Zach LaVine. I'm not mad at that connection. Vooch is pretty good. He just needs somewhere to be. But I just don't. The Lonzo Ball one. Hey, I'm rooting for you, Lonzo. All right, y'all. That's all we got. And until next time, goodbye.
Peace, y'all.